To me, it's always been more interesting to look at the framing of historical material more than the objects themselves. A lot of what we see in institutions has been organized as a single-use form, like it was part of history and now we're learning from it. Well, how do you define what are historical materials and what are artworks when they are literally the same thing? My name is Gala Porras-Kim and I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I make works mainly about the contemporary interventions into historical materials and how that might affect the way that we understand the past. Just because an object is in a collection doesn't mean that it has stopped doing the other things that it was doing before it became historical. These other functions can actually coexist. I think that a lot of these questions can be resolved with expanding the way that things can be conserved. When I talk to conservators, they're really concerned about keeping all of the water or light or moisture level out of this work to protect it materially. But I like to look for objects that are meant to be in relationship to these things to begin with, and then to try and understand what will be the best form in which that idea takes shape. So many of my works are just literal renderings of the objects in the institutional catalog. That's essentially just a ledger that the museum keeps of all of the objects in the collection with information that they think is relevant. This system really limits the actual lives that all of these objects still have that are just kind of stifled by the single organizational way. To even just be aware that it might have other ways of existing in the world is, I think, essential. I think people should create their own relationships to this historical material so that it still becomes relevant to the world and not just stuck in the past as something that we inherit and is a chore, but that we might be able to create our own world with that material as well.